another video on the Life After Brady channel. Today we're going to take a look after the disastrous loss in Las Vegas on Sunday. Is Bill Belichick on the hot seat, or should he be in the hot seat? It's not screams right now, it's just murmurs, I would say, from people starting to ask questions about, is it time to ask the question? This is the before question is what it feels like to me. But we're going to kind of go through it right now and see, is there any validity to it? Should Bill Belichick be in the hot seat? The way we're going to look at it, we're going to go through what are the other options in the NFL. Now, this is obviously not covering the other coordinators, the assistants, because you don't know what you don't know. But just kind of let's take a little 1,000-foot view of what the other teams have. Are there better options out there? What have teams done to get that done? So this is from about a month ago from our website, Pro Football Network. They put a list together of the top coaches. This is more heavily what your career has been in terms of Kyle Shanahan's lower on this list and Bill Belichick's higher on this list. This is not saying what your team is right now. We'll go through it 32-1, taking a look left to right of what are the other options out there. So we start with 32, Jeff Saturday. Obviously, we all know Indy just lost their mind. It'd be the equivalent of the Patriots appointing Willie McGinnis is the wrong name right now, but we'll go with Teddy Bruschi. It'd be the equivalent of putting Teddy Bruschi in there. Hey, he's working with the high school, working with Bishop Feehan. He's on ESPN. Could he be the head coach of the New England Patriots? Obviously, Robert Kraft is not Jim Irsay. He's not going to do that. So nothing there. Nathaniel Hackett, to me, is a great example of why you don't say Bill Belichick is on the hot seat. Denver's got supposedly a premier quarterback. Most people would take Russell Wilson over Mac Jones before the season. I don't know if they would now. He was an offensive quote-unquote guru, lit it up in Green Bay. And Denver's going to have a top 5 pick that they won't have because they traded away to Seattle. 3-6 on the year at the time of this. I think they're 4-10 right now. Clearly things are not greener. That's to me what the Patriots would do. They'd hire an offensive coach, someone to manage Mac Jones, and clearly that wouldn't work out. Number 30 on this list is Josh McDaniels. Whether he's 30, whether he's 15, I don't know. I think he gets a bad rap for the Denver stuff, and obviously things have not gone well in Las Vegas. He's the guy that most fans would want. And with Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, it's just not looking pretty right there. Now, that's not his team. He should be able to, kind of grow it with the GM there that he brought over from New England. But if you're looking for immediate success, Bill Belichick has a better team right now than Josh McDaniels, even though on Sunday, McDaniels' team did beat him. So that's the guy that if Bill Belichick was actually gone, people would be looking for. And is that really a better option? It's better than Matt Patricia, obviously, calling plays, but it's not better than Bill Belichick. We'll start to kind of run through a couple of these. Steve Wilkes, obviously the interim in Carolina, doing a fine job, but nothing special. Dennis Allen, absolute disaster in New Orleans. On that note, Sean Payton obviously ran the show in New Orleans for many years, similar to how Belichick has run New England. You go in, another veteran coach, kind of similar to McDaniels, and it's a disaster in New Orleans. Not pretty. Dan Campbell, Robert Kraft's not going to do that. Lovie Smith, obviously just holding the tide while they tank in Houston. Matt Eberflus, Justin Fields is probably better than Mac Jones, but that team's a disaster in Chicago. Maybe in a year or two that team looks better, but right now they just keep finding a way to lose games. Cliff Kingsbury, we saw the meltdown in on Monday night in Arizona about a week ago. Tom Brady, there's rumors he's looking to come back to New England. It's because Bowles has been a disaster in Tampa. Brandon Staley, another one of those gurus supposedly, but that team in Los Angeles is extremely talented, and they're basically a 500 team. They're right around what the Patriots are, with probably a more talented team. So is Bill Belichick getting more out of his team? I would say so. Going down to the right, Ron Rivera, obviously just a nice 500 level team. Robert Saleh, good team in New York, but hey, if you keep drafting the top 10, you're going to get talent. He can coach a good defense. They're obviously talented, but to me, not the level. Mike McCarthy, obviously, just sad to see what's happening in Dallas. That would have been the story Sunday of them blowing it in Jacksonville if it wasn't for what New England did. Arthur Smith, another one of those quote-unquote offensive gurus, just hasn't found his quarterback. Kevin O'Connell's been a nice one. Obviously, a great record in Minnesota. They beat the Patriots. But, To me, there's just not enough there yet to know whether that would have been a better move or not to get a guy like O'Connell. Moving into the top half of the league in coaches, Brian Dable, former guy of the New England staff, would have been interesting. Um, you know, a possible good option there, but is there anything super creative you're seeing in New England or in New York that's actually going to last, or are they just running a college offense with Daniel Jones that is gimmicky and is, um, it's not going to win you a Super Bowl type thing. It might win you a couple of games, but it's not going to win you a Super Bowl. Kevin Stefanski, nothing special to me in Cleveland. Zach Taylor's an all-world quarterback and continues to find a way to semi-play 500 ball, that they're playing much better down the end. Doug Peterson, a great win Sunday, but more or less he's lasting on that Super Bowl. Mike McDaniel's lower on this list. He's the one that would be the home run type hire. Obviously, he's not going anywhere in Miami, but hey, can you go find the Mike McDaniel? And that's, to me, especially you're looking him, maybe Sirianni a little later, Matt LaFleur. So 3 out of 7. Because we go back here, guys like Brandon Staley, Cliff Kingsbury, Matt Eberflus, Dan Campbell, Nathaniel Hackett, those offensive guru types, maybe it's about 3 out of 7 are going to hit, which is a good percentage, but are they going to be better or worse than that 500 ball? Probably not. Probably not. And do you actually get one of these guys, or are you getting a dud like Nathaniel Hackett? Pete Carroll, obviously very good. And then the middle column, LaFleur has been great. If you take him away from Aaron Rodgers, how's it look? Because right now it doesn't look very pretty. Nick Sirianni is a Philly guy, doing well. Obviously, they hit with Jalen Hurts. Kyle Shanahan's, low on this list. He's obviously, to me, the stud right there with Andy Reid in terms of this season. What he's doing with Brock Purdy and a great defense. He finds a way to win games, but obviously he's not going from San Francisco. Vrabel, to me, is an interesting one. What's this power struggle going to happen in Tennessee? He played in New England. I think he'd be willing to come back, but I'm sure he loves Tennessee. But is there a Godfather type of offer that Robert Kraft could make to get him out of Tennessee, where doesn't have a quarterback? Derrick Henry is obviously the focal point of that team, and his best days are behind him at this point. So that's one that I would keep my eye on if you really think Bill Belichick's on the hot seat of what could happen. But really, so to me, you're talking Bill Belichick's still a top 10, I would say, coach in this league. I put McDaniel there above LaFleur at this point, and Bill Belichick's right there. He does not have the offense that these guys, LaFleur, McDaniel, Sirianni, and Reid have, but he's just outside of that, in my opinion. So you're talking about a top third coach in the NFL, period, right now. Never mind what they were doing in the past. Wrapping up, McVay, Tomlin, Harbaugh, Belichick second on this list, and then Reid. Guys that winning programs, but look at this year, in that top 5. Harbaugh's crashing back to earth as Lamar's hurt. Tomlin has a worse record than Belichick, and then McVay is going to have a top 5 pick that he won't have because they traded it away. So Bill Belichick, to me, clearly still a top 10 coach in the NFL. You're not getting rid of a top 10 coach. This is not a 4-12, 4-13 team. He's still the guy in New England. They have to fix the offense. This whole Patricia and Mac Jones situation needs to be resolved. ASAP. If he can do that, he absolutely still needs to have this job. There is no hot seat. But if he doesn't, that seat will get warmer, and I think we're a year or two away from that ending it. That's it for today. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and check us out next time.